XRP and Solana might be getting kicked out of the top 10 cryptos ranked by market cap, and we're going to tell you how.
Billionaires are calling this the next Bitcoin, and now whales are piling in.
Welcome to the Bean Pod. This is your place for all things stocks and crypto. From beginner tips to expert picks. Use this as fuel for your investing journey, because when you're in the know, your money will grow.
This episode of the Bean Pod is sponsored by BitGet.
BitGet is the most user-friendly and secure crypto trading platform for both beginners and experienced traders.
BitGet is the best place to not only trade Bitcoin and Ethereum, but also all of the small cap gems that we discuss every day.
With 24/7 customer support, leverage trading, and a wide array of other advanced features, BitGet sets itself apart from every other centralized exchange.
Through Beanstock's official partnership with BitGet, you'll receive 15% off all trading fees when you sign up using the referral link in the description.
All views expressed by speakers on the Bean Pod are solely their opinions. You should not treat any opinion expressed on the Bean Pod as a specific inducement to make a particular investment or follow a specific strategy, but only as an expression of their opinion. This podcast is for informational purposes only.
Welcome to the Bean Pod. This is Shane, aka the Jolly Green Investor.
And this is Josh, the Nifty Investor.
If you missed out on XRP, if you missed out on Solana, well, we're going to tell you the next altcoin, which could have a meteoric rise into the top 10.
Yeah, look, XRP and Solana are in real danger right now of being kicked out of the top 10. And that is because institutions are piling into this altcoin, and it is set to become the future of AI.
So obviously we're talking about Bittensor TAO. Now, how can TAO reach the top 10 in cryptos ranked by market cap? Well, easy. Let's look at some of the top 10 cryptos ranked by market cap. First, we have Tron, which is the number 10 rated altcoin. Current market cap around 30 to 35 billion. Well, the current market cap of Bittensor is only around 3.5 billion. That's an easy 10x.
Okay, let's look at two other altcoins that are sitting in the top 10 right now. We have Dogecoin. Elon Musk has come out and said that I'm not going to be using Doge for payments on X. And that's where a little bit of the speculation came in. Doge is sitting at a $36 billion market cap. Why? That is a meme coin. It does nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So look, with TAO sitting at 3.5, 10X. We also have Cardano sitting at 10th, $26 billion. The founder, Charles Hoskinson, we saw him live. This guy has given up on Cardano. You go on the website, it looks like shit. And literally has like links that don't even work and are back in like 2017 or something like that. He's talking about starting a farm and like getting out of crypto and doing this with sheeps and all these things. So that project is dead in my opinion. That is an old layer one that I don't think is going to get utilized by anybody. So we should see TAO move into the top 10 quite easily, replacing, like we said, Dogecoin. We should surpass Tron, and we should definitely inevitably pass Cardano.
Yeah, I think it's a no-brainer for me when you look at the tailwinds that Bittensor TAO has. Institutions are piling into Bittensor TAO. That's why that you said billionaires are calling this the next Bitcoin. Whales are piling in. Well, who are these billionaires and these whales? Well, look at Barry Silbert. This is a Bitcoin OG. He was buying Bitcoin at $10. He started Grayscale, the first Bitcoin trust. He was buying Bitcoin for pennies, and he was selling the top of like the first Bitcoin ETF run. Well, now he's gone all in, and he's doing the same thing with Bittensor TAO. Not only has he started the Grayscale AI trust, of which Bittensor is the number one component, around 30% of the Grayscale AI trust is Bittensor, but he's personally said he's all in on Bittensor. He even started the Yuma group, which is a group specifically set up to accelerate Bittensor and the subnets.
Yeah, they have $12 million in the TAO trust already. And that is the Grayscale AI fund, which has Near, Filecoin, Graph, Render. And guess who takes up the majority of this percentage? It's TAO, Bittensor. We also have TAO synergies. So we have other NASDAQ listed companies that are also accumulating TAO to have TAO as their treasury. So we have TAO synergies. They've accumulated 42,000 TAO, part of their digital asset strategy. We have Oblong under the ticker OBLG, $7.5 million private placement. And then we have XTAO Inc., 41,000 TAO. So these are dedicated organizations on the NASDAQ that are now heavily accumulating Bittensor and TAO.
Yeah, they're replicating the same strategy that Michael Saylor used for MicroStrategy for Bittensor TAO, an easy way for institutions and big money to start getting into Bittensor. Even things like we heard that Chamath, that huge VC, SPAC investor guy, he publicly said he's looking into Bittensor. Even Elon Musk has interacted with some of the Bittensor tweets on X. So we know the big dogs are looking at Bittensor. That's because they have the most game-changing AI ecosystem in the world.
You mentioned Yuma Group, and I think we really need to stick on that point here for a second, because Yuma Group is essentially accelerating the growth of subnets. And subnets are essentially little AI companies or startups, if you will, that are helping to facilitate the growth of the overall Bittensor ecosystem. So each one has an individual task and focuses and specializes in something different. You might have one like Nova, which specializes in drug discoveries. You might have one like Sport Tensor, which specializes in predicting bets in sports. So as each one grows and learns different algorithms, that is shared amongst the whole Bittensor community. These subnets are all competing for TAO. So the better they perform, the more TAO they receive. But if you're not performing, you're kicked out. But there's a huge catalyst that just opened up the door to a ton of liquidity to these subnets.
Yeah, and that's when I think the timing is perfect for Bittensor to start its meteoric rise to the top 10, because liquidity can now start to enter subnets, not only via the Bittensor chain, but via Base and Solana. Now we're talking about two chains that are highly used. They have between 10 and $15 billion of TVL liquidity combined. And now people can start buying subnet coins directly on Base and Solana. This is facilitated by projects like TAOFi, who have made cross-chain liquidity accessible for people trying to port all of their money from other chains onto Bittensor easily. I think the timing is perfect.
Yeah, like these subnets are, some of them are sitting like, these are groundbreaking, revolutionary AI projects that are sitting at somewhere around like 5 million, 10 million, $30 million market caps, and they have the same tokenomics as Bitcoin. And that's something that makes Bittensor so special. There's only 21 million ever created, right? So now that you have one-click access via TAOFi to purchase these subnets, I mean, that's huge for liquidity flowing into the ecosystem.
Yeah, and it's a great point you made there about the Bitcoin tokenomics. And this is the final, one of the largest catalysts that people are not talking about with Bittensor. And that's the fact that, yes, it does have the same tokenomics as Bitcoin. And what does that mean? That means we have a TAO halvening. And this is going to be occurring. There hasn't even been one yet.
Yeah.
Now look at what happened with the price of Bitcoin when it had its first couple of halvings. It's going up 300, 500, 700% after the halving. Well, guess what? The first Bittensor halving is happening later this year, currently scheduled for mid-December 2025. So watch out.
So the Bitcoin halving is really important, and here's why. It cuts the rate of new TAO being created in half. That means we have less supply. So if there's less supply of TAO, but there's more demand, because again, remember, there's 138 subnets currently, and that will grow to thousands. That means there should be an increase and a supply squeeze into the price, and that should be reflected in TAO and ultimately these subnets, which also actually see halvings as well.
Yeah, it's a really interesting time to look at Bittensor TAO right now, and that's why we see, again, this is not financial advice. You guys need to do your own research. There's no guarantees that Bittensor reaches the top 10, but we're saying, in our personal opinion, we've been talking about Bittensor for a long time. We think it has the potential to reach top 10 based on market cap comparisons to all these old dead coins, based on institutions buying, based on the ease of liquidity coming into subnets, and based on the fact that we still have the first Bittensor halving later this year. I think this perfect storm of catalysts will propel TAO into the top 10.
Yeah, look, I think people are getting tired of getting rugged. I think they're tired of insiders getting early access to these tokens, venture capitalists, all these things. I think they're going to be searching for a project that is truly operates just like Bitcoin. It is open sourced, it's fair. I think when you look at like the OpenAI, Sam Altman, and the valuation of that company, $300 billion. Like, there's no reason why an open source model like Bittensor can't even surpass and succeed that market cap. Like the power requirements are required. I think accessing talent from around the world, you can have people from all around the world access this ecosystem. So Bittensor has a lot going for it. And I think, like I said, people are just tired of getting rugged. I think this is one of the best fair access projects you can ever find on the market.
Yeah, we always call it the Bitcoin of AI, right? It's the Bitcoin of AI. Bitcoin is now being globally accepted, globally adopted. Normies, boomers, everyone understands Bitcoin and the power of it, even if they just see like, oh, wow, price go up, right? And now when the Bitcoin of AI comes along, they're like, oh, well, Bitcoin did well. Well, this is Bittensor. That's why we think it's a simple sell. And I think it could have very, very bright days ahead.
Yeah, of course, none of this is financial advice. This is our opinion only. You need to do your own research, but we do highly recommend that you tune into the next episode.
Because that one is going to be a banger.
All views expressed by speakers on the BeanPod are solely their opinions. You should not treat any opinion expressed on the BeanPod as a specific inducement to make a particular investment or follow a specific strategy, but only as an expression of their opinion. This podcast is for informational purposes only.